I think it's another moment that as a country we need to focus and look at. The important aspect as of now is to prepare the economy to take off, to reach the level that we are seeking for. There are a few fundamental aspects that we need to facilitate in order to do that one, while building confidence, while introducing structural reforms. There are key areas that we need to focus on because we are still at the beginning of the journey. Given the situation Sri Lanka was in, this is an important milestone. It's an important outcome because it adds up to the equation on continuation and the consistency on the path to create the economic stability. Contrary to the belief of many, government took several rational measures, calculated decisions in order to stabilize the economy. In this process, one of them was to stay within the IMF program. Another was to facilitate the debt restructuring program, support the business ecosystem, facilitate the market mechanism to continue, intervene on a proportionate approach whenever it was necessary, particularly when the prevailing mechanisms were unable to deliver the mandate of people and expectations of people. In this process, there are several priorities as a government that we need to look into. One of them is the creation of economic stability, macro level stability. With a lot of effort and support from everyone, the present government was able to achieve that objective within a short period of time. That does not mean the journey is completed, but we are at a critical point that we have achieved a lot within a short period of time. In some cases, to exceed the expectations of some of the parties involved in this process. It is very important to ensure confidence is built across the board. Local investors, business community, SME sector, citizens who were trying to leave Sri Lanka because they have lost hope to stay in Sri Lanka, and to give confidence to the international investors and community as well, that we are on a steady path of growth and we are directing and navigating the economy in the correct trajectory, allowing businesses to perform at their best capacity, state institutions to provide the regulatory framework, ensure conduct is monitored on an appropriate basis, intervene on a timely manner to achieve the collective objectives to take the economy to the next level. Based on the outcome of the IMF evaluation, we know approximately $334 million will be released as a result of the positive outcome. That will take the total disbursements up to $1.34 billion of the total package of nearly $2.9 billion over a 48 months period that it is to be delivered. About 2 weeks back, I met senior officials of IMF in Japan. We had very constructive discussions relating to the impending board meeting of the IMF to iron out any corners and to assure the commitment of the government to deliver and to do the right thing. As a country, as a government, we know many of the things had to be fixed. And those initiatives are common in some of the findings of the IMF program as well. The governance diagnostic program was one of them, where they were identifying several aspects as a nation that we need to improve in terms of our governance. As a government, we believed that is inevitable. For this country to progress, we need to improve our level of governance, our transparency, accountability, as institutions and politicians. So there were several areas of common interest. And they were quite pleased to see the way how present government is delivering the mandate. It was very interesting discussions. It is important to know how we did what we did within the short period of time, just to shed some light into the process. Government's approach is to prioritize on the people's needs as the first item. That is where we negotiated with the IMF team within the framework, wherever possible, to provide relief, to facilitate the requirements of industries. One of them was the 50% reduction of the taxes that were imposed on service sector exports. Previous government has agreed to charge 50% tax on IT sector, particularly on service exports. Through our discussions and negotiations, the present government was able to reduce it by 50% to the accepted global level of 15%, which is in par with the global minimum taxation levels. That is to facilitate the growth of the industries. In doing so, another priority was not to leave any group in the society behind, to look after the vulnerable, to meet the requirements and ensure they are being integrated into the society in a way that they are able to contribute to the economic activities as we move forward. The focus on fiscal discipline is another important area as a government that we focused on to ensure no wastage of public money, no wastage of taxes collected, either through direct taxes as well as indirect taxes. That gives the confidence to the payers of taxes to get engaged with the government. The fiscal and monetary measures that are commensurate with the economic activities that we are planning as a country, as a government. We need to take this economy from where it is now, within the next 5 years by 2030, our exports to grow from $20 billion to over $40 billion. The base of the economy, the structure of the economy need to be prepared. That's why several measures were implemented. The governance structure, as I mentioned earlier also, it's very important to ensure it is not just limited to words, we implement them on a timely manner. The testimony to that implementation is we were able to complete some of the many initiatives that were lagging, and add 4 new items into the governance action implementation program, which has now been proposed for final agreements. Giving political leadership instead of politicizing the institutions, filling the competency gaps in some of the state institutions, because we need the structure to be strong, regulation to be commensurate and proportionate, and that will facilitate the growth and the activities of the economy. It was not a single person's action, it was a team effort. Our efforts were joined and supported collectively by officials of the Ministry of Finance, tirelessly, continuously, the CBSL officials led by the governor. Several times we had to send our documents up and down, the legal draftsman, Attorney General's department, the support that they extended. Historically highest amount of revenue was collected last year, which was an important requirement as per the IMF program. More importantly, as a country also, we need to ensure revenue is collected. The highest amount of revenue was collected during the last year. That is through the dedication and the support of officials of several revenue agencies, including IRD, Customs, Excise Department. Our digitization program was targeted to support these initiatives. Not only revenue collection agencies, but the infrastructure of the country to prepare to move on to the next level. That is where the applicable engagements from the Land Registry, Survey General's Department, and several other state institutions who work tirelessly with us in this program. because there are several improvements as a country that we need to do as we move forward to take the country to the next level. So it's a collective effort. And our focus was to make sure we will not put ourselves into a vulnerable position by losing sight on important dimensions. Our reserve position as a country, exchange rate, which will impact both importers and exporters, confidence of investors to come into Sri Lanka, the inflation aspect of it, interest rates of the country. These measures are to facilitate the production economy that we spoke about as the government when we were competing to get into the top seat and to get into the government. So this is to facilitate that production economy, to drive the growth, to take the economy to the next level, facilitate the investments that are required both from the government side. When you look at the budget that was presented to the parliament, we noted so much of effort is targeted into investments that will increase the capacity of the economy to deliver over a period of time, and to ensure our export earnings will increase. And Sri Lanka is connected to the global value chain. It is no longer in isolation as a nation. Our aspirations is to ensure our youth, our entrepreneurs, our businesses will be able to connect to the global value chain, and we will be able to acquire a significant component given our size and abilities. It is important to pay attention to what is next in this journey as well. The budget will be passed as within the next few days in the parliament subsequent to the completion of debates. Implementation of growth-focused initiatives, several of them that are mentioned in the budget, identified from the public investment side of it, social investments that the government is planning. And these are to support the efforts of everyone in the country at individual level, as entrepreneurs, as SME sector, larger businesses, corporates, investors who are focusing and looking at Sri Lanka, particularly the transition that we are going through. This is to give the confidence to everyone involved. The present government is serious about getting things done, to facilitate investments, to provide equal treatments, level playing field, without politicians intervening and providing tax reliefs, depending on the size of the commission we get, or depending on the deal that politicians have to ensure they come into power in the next election. Our approach is to ensure national policies are in place, transparency is provided, accountability is delivered at all fronts. So we believe this journey will continue with the support of everyone. And the fourth review of the IMF program is scheduled to be started soon. We are determined to continue on the achievements that we have made as a government so far, with more vigor and the support from everyone in the process, involved in the process, no matter whether they are contributing to a significant component of the GDP based in the Western province or whether they are based in a remote location in Sri Lanka. We want everyone to join this journey. Every profession, from IT sector, from legal profession, financial professions, professionals in the finance sector, engineering sector, everyone to get together. Government staff members have been looked after generously through the budget to ensure they are treated with dignity, that they will be able to contribute to the development of the country. There's a new political culture that has been unveiled, accepted by people. It is the next level of transformation in terms of policy implementation. The basis is, the foundation is being laid as we speak. So we invite everyone to join this journey to make sure, as a nation, as a country, we will achieve our targets and objectives to take the country to the next level, to achieve the financial sovereignty that we need as a country, to lay out a plan that is sustainable in terms of generating revenue, in terms of repaying the debts that have been incurred by the previous governments without looking at the capacity of the country. We are determined to put things in place, to correct the things, in consultation with people, by engagement with stakeholders, chambers, business community, and everyone else. So we believe that we will get the necessary support without getting carried away by some of the bankrupt politicians, the messages that they are trying to circulate, and their interested parties through the social media and through other means. We believe people will believe the choices the government has made and will support this journey for us to continue with the level of determination, passion, and the competency of the team that is on board to deliver what we have undertaken to deliver. And our job is to ensure resources are provided to everyone involved in this process to continue that journey along with us. So we will answer some of the questions that you may have as we go on. And thank you very much once again.